I don't know what happened. IG be acting up. Come back in though. Let's have this conversation, and I guess it's not going to capture everything I just said about Jarrell, but y'all will see the video soon. But if I'm a little subdued and all that, this time as well, it did kind of send me into a state of meditation. Prana was going off and all that, twitching in there. So if I'm a little subdued right now, I'm just coming from getting the facial. Alright, let's have this talk. Come back in here if y'all was just in my other joint. Come back. I think this is going to be one of the most important talks that I ever do. Man, whole face out here glowing. Sheesh. What up? Peace. Peace to the guys. Peace to the goddesses. Bliss rising. Love and peace to y'all heart. Tag them if you got them. Invite somebody to come watch this live. Cause, yeah. Let me just get on this street real quick. How y'all feeling out there? All right, y'all back. Let's get it. All right, so where do I begin? It's a very tricky topic, and let me just preface by saying this. I put this post up on Facebook yesterday. I didn't go live. I just put an actual post up. I know it's mad dark. I'm about to get to some light in a second. There we go. Yeah, but I put this post up yesterday, and for the most part, I say percentage-wise, like a good 70, if not 80% of the women agree with the post, and it was the exact same caption that I have here. It was just that actual wording without the live. 70, 80% of women agree. So if you agree that, and I'm gonna get into what I mean by this, but ladies, if you agree, if you have a certain compulsion or an aversion to the program of monogamy, even if you feel like you're locking into it, you may be in a relationship right now. But if I put it like this, if something feels off about monogamy for you, just put a thumbs up or something in the comments where I could just kind of get a tally. But in the post on Facebook, a lot of women started to, open up and become transparent and honest about how they felt about this topic. Because a lot of times, it's somebody said I flipped the script. I forgot which one of my brothers said that. But usually it's like, men not built to be monogamous. And honestly, I just went through something this past week, with my situation, with my relationship, that took me to a deeper level of understanding of love. And, it ripped me open, it ripped me wide, it cut me deep. But anytime you get ripped open wide, it's more space and more access for God to be able to sink underneath those layers that you haven't quite understood or seen yet, right? So being somebody that spreads immense love, right, everywhere I go. Being somebody that's been in not a lot of relationships, but long, substantial relationships, right? Me and my ex was together for 13 years, partner, lighting and all that. Me and my ex was together for like 13 years. The relationship I'm in right now, immediately kind of went to wife, husband role type thing, fatherhood and all this stuff, right? So I'm realizing at this point that what is needed from me, I don't even want to put the word wife on it, like, I'm no longer a husband. And I don't mean that me and my wife broke up or nothing like that. I mean, we've gone to a deeper level of understanding about these roles that box us in. And of course, monogamy being a trigger for us taking on these roles. But when my wife met me, when Goddess met me, I just say Goddess. When my reflection met me, she knew that I was in a space where I was drifting away from the grid, right? From physical reality, from society. And again, I was literally ready to go move to India. I don't just be saying, I was already looking into ashram life. Ashrams is the places you could go, you don't got to pay no money, live rent free, and just meditate all day. I was ready to go do that. Kid from Newark, New Jersey, Brick City, was ready to get out of here. So part of why I manifested her form into my world was to help ground me. And she was in a space where she was trying to break through the soil of her evolution. So my duty, my responsibility for her was to kind of uproot her from her soil of comfortability. So we met going in completely opposite directions, completely different trajectories, right? I needed to be grounded. She needed to be skyrocketing. And we was able to give each other that. You know what I mean? And via doing that, you know, you start to vibe with somebody, you start to like a man or a woman. Immediately it goes into the box of, okay, what is this about to become? Is this going to be a relationship? Is this a situationship? We getting married? What we do? We go immediately looking for a role, a box to squeeze our connection of into. And being that I always wanted to be a quote-unquote husband, being that I always wanted to be a quote-unquote father, a family man, I always tell y'all I had that. I have that. My parents are still married. I don't know how long, probably like 40 years almost now. You know what I mean? Never saw my father step out. You know what I mean? Real parents. So I emulated that in my dad. I'm like, you know what? With all the energy I gave to my music career, all the different ambitions I had throughout life, that one thing that was always in the back of my head and my heart, I want to have a family, bro. And I went 36 years thinking it was just not going to happen for circumstances that seemed to be beyond my control. I mean, you know, you're a budding artist, you out here moving and shaking, you're not thinking about that, but then you start to get older, you want that, but you know, you got to pay the bills. You know, my health issues, all this stuff started to happen, time in the streets. So it got to the point where I leveled up spiritually. I'm in a frequency where I'm vegan, I barely eat, I was celibate, not having no sex, I meditate all damn day, I don't have no job, I don't have no source of income, I'm on disability, still recovering from being blind. So to a certain degree, it seemed like I'm not going to be able to have a wife. I'm not going to be able to manifest a woman that could appreciate the frequency I'm in and be able to match that. You know what I mean? But that wasn't the case, right? God works in mysterious ways, so it was more so a matter of having to line up into that level of my own frequency to manifest my quote-unquote wife. And as soon as that happened and we realized our purpose in each other's lives, which was day by day a magical, like mystical, fairy tale type story, because even beyond our connection to each other, it was signs and signals every single day that was undeniable, that only me and her was in this little universe that we was creating to be able to pick up. If we wrote a book and documented it, you wouldn't believe us. Well, all these signs that on the surface we don't match. You know what I'm saying? Like 15, she's 15 years younger than me. Like, again, we were in completely different trajectories, but in that phase of our life, and I'm gonna get to it, in that phase of our life, in that moment, we needed each other in exactly the ways that we were, right? We needed each other in that season. I'm gonna pull over real quick. I'm gonna have some light on me for this. I look mad dark. Give me a second. Hold on. I'm with you. Right? So, I got something. I'm gonna hop out real quick. There we go. Light back on the god. Right? So, yeah, so we have Marty, you know, and mind you, I finished my year of celibacy before we even engaged in anything. And that transpired into what became my family. So the only things that I hadn't really experienced, like I had done it all. I ran these streets, been a church boy, college dude, worked jobs, all, you know what I'm saying? Like, been out here moving and shaking with women. Like, I lived a lot of different versions of Docs throughout my life. I mean, things that I can't necessarily relate to y'all, stuff that I don't even remember that people got to remind me of. But the two main things that I hadn't fulfilled was fatherhood, husbandhood. So even though she met me at a space where I was ejecting myself from all these different terms and programs, I didn't even really see myself as a human being. To a large degree, I still don't. But these boxes enticed me in that moment because they were very fancy, comfortable, beautiful boxes that I had never been in, rooms I had never been able to experience. So it went from being floaty and etheric and heavenly and kind of removed from physical reality to let me condense back into the box of fatherhood and husbandhood. And with that comes, and this is the first part I want to speak about, and brothers, if you're watching this, I think this could help y'all with y'all relationships and y'all pursuit of women, right? With that comes the responsibility or the weight of pleasing our women. And not only once, not just today, but tomorrow. When we are in a relationship, we are low key, even if just on a subconscious level, taking on the role of her happiness, taking on the role and responsibility of maintaining her happiness, doing whatever it takes to make sure she's happy, right? And it gets to the point, and this is happening in every one of my relationships, where that effort that we put in, no matter what end of the spectrum you are in that effort, you could be the greatest man ever, giving all, you know what I mean, all the money, best sex in the world, whatever it is, like for that particular woman. You could be 10 on all levels. It's still not going to be enough. And that's something I had to realize this week, that feminine energy in its essence, right? Let's just go to the core, beyond man and woman. Feminine energy in its essence is expansive, is receptive. That's just like the post I put up last week. Let's keep it to receptive and projective. So feminine energy, which we all have, but women, of course, usually have an abundance of that feminine energy, which is why they chose the form of a female, quote unquote, right? That energy is infinitely and always receiving and downloading, right? This is why their intuition is so heightened. This is why they have so much access to a bandwidth of emotion that a lot of times we don't. They are constantly receiving and in need of receiving energy. Right? So that first time a man starts to court a woman, right? She want to know, like, all right, what you bringing to the table, bro? You know what I mean? What energy can I receive from you? Whether it's just on a sexual level, emotional, informational, whatever it may be. When a man meets a woman, our first compulsion as heightened levels of masculine energy that all men and women have. But us as men, we are projective. We always want to dump out in some way, shape, or form. Whether it's at our job, with our women, trying to get to that next phase of our business, of our life, in the gym, working out, repetitious, right? So projective energy is always dumping out. So there needs to be an order and a structure to that. And with order and structure comes repetition, comes the propensity to be okay with doing the same thing over and over. That doesn't affect us like that affects women. Even if it's level 10 of the same thing over and over, that feminine energy is like, no, I need to experience something different. I need to experience something new. I need to experiment. I exist to be able to receive. And what I receive, I create something new. Receive something from here, create something new over here. This is what feminine energy is, right? So low key, masculine energy, from my perspective, this is just my downloads. If it resonates with you, cool. If it don't, I'm not trying to convince y'all. I just felt compelled to get this out because I went through a very difficult week of getting to these downloads and these keys, and I feel like they can help somebody else. Masculine energy, in my opinion, from my current vantage, is way more susceptible to being able to be monogamous. And again, this is not what I was saying about Facebook, and some women kind of got a little offended. I'm not saying that being that you aren't built for monogamy doesn't mean you can't do it, that you can't learn to exist in that and even appreciate it. I'm saying on a base level of your energy, it's not really built for that. You know what I'm saying? The human experience is malleable. You can become anything you need to. You can fit into any type of frequency or consciousness that you need to as a human being. So even though we're not built for certain things, the body is not built to eat the type of foods we eat. We go a lifetime doing that. Body eventually breaks down, but I just say that to say we're malleable. So I'm not talking about your ability to be faithful. I'm not talking about your ability to be loyal as a woman. I'm talking about the essence of your energy. You need to play. Girls just want to have fun. I get it now. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all just want to play and dance and look soft and supple. And that's what feminine energy is. And there's nothing wrong with that. I had to ask myself, being that women always want so much, men constantly feeling like, yo, it's never enough for her, bro. Why is this? Is there something wrong with that? No. Because feminine energy is supposed to just receive, emit, create, receive, emit, create, and it has to be constant newness for them to have the motivation to create something new, to have the energy to create something new. You know what I'm saying? Masculine energy, being that it's structured and ordered, it needs repetition, it needs consistency, right? So even down to a man just, all right, this is what I'm about to eat. It's going to take a woman a while because it's like, all right, it's not just I need to eat and fill my body. I need a new experience and it needs to be perfect. And you know what I'm saying? There's so many examples of how this plays out. So low key, I feel like men have more of a propensity to be monogamous. And this is the reason, right? Monogamy isn't within natural order. Somebody said it's almost like on Facebook. She was like, well, you know, you got to make certain decisions. They dox you a vegan and you do right for your body. You know, I'm like, yo, monogamy is not part of the natural order of existence. We don't need to be monogamous to exist. You got to eat to exist to a certain degree, right? So it's different. And I feel like, let's go even deeper, right? Lemurian consciousness, Atlantic consciousness, the city of Atlantis and all this stuff. Go do your research. I would recommend, there's a channel on YouTube called Spirit Science, right? And they have our documentary of human history, not just from racism and, you know, the aboriginals and caveman. It goes beyond that, right? The first consciousness in existence, and this can correlate with the Big Bang, and scientists say nothingness got so dense that it exploded into this universe of perceivable somethings. That's feminine energy busting a nut, busting a cosmic infinite nut. That's what happened, right? And feminine energy said, okay, and I put it to you like this. I know I'm just going right now. This is stream of consciousness, so bear with me. There's a book I'm reading right now called I Am That. And in it, they juxtapose the base levels of yin and yang, feminine and masculine energy. Feminine energy says, I am everything. Meaning that nut being bust and the explosion of all these different somethings, these trees, these molecules, this air, these planets, these dimensions, these parallel universes, all some of these things we're not even conscious of. Feminine energy, feminine divine energy bust the nut of I'm everything. Masculine energy is the wisdom of I am nothing. You have that cosmic dancer, and when we go into meditation, when y'all meditate with me, I'm always bringing y'all from retracting y'all from the world of somethings into that world of nothingness, that divine masculine, that divine structure that does not change. That's always right there. That's your anchor. It holds the space for the feminine energy to explode into what looks like divine chaos. So feminine energy, divine chaos, masculine energy, divine order. You need both, right? So at a certain point, I feel like the Lemurians was the first, what we have labeled the first consciousness, right? When that nothingness state, what we call shunya and yoga, which means the void, that state of nothingness, that is the womb, the potential of all somethings. When that exploded out and it's just going everywhere, a piece of that consciousness schismed off and said, you know what, I want to be able to control this. That structure, that order of divine masculine energy said, I want to be able to control this. And that's what we call the Martian consciousness. That it's almost like Eve came from Adam's rib. Adam came from Eve's rib. You feel me? From my perspective. Because that feminine energy was first as far as consciousness in the universe of some things, right? And then that Martian energy branched off now. Was like, you know what? That's powerful. I want to interact. I want to exchange. And now it's so powerful and I'm getting a piece of it. Now I want to control it. That Martian, this is mine, territorial energy started to be created. And this is before human beings was even manifested. You know what I mean? We're going deep right now. So once human beings come into this and you have this balance of divine, feminine, explosive creativity, chaos, and then you got this divine masculine order, structure, repetition, control. That glimpse of that feminine energy that we got was so powerful. We like, nah, yo, I need to have that. I need to be able to hold that and calculate that and say I can have this for the rest of whatever time it may be. But we couldn't do that. You can't do that with feminine energy. So I believe masculine energy on this planet, let's just say men at this point, we created the system of monogamy. And you can get into whether it was the Europeans or not. There's a lot of information out there on the European system of monogamy, and that's when it arose. I'm not really here to get into the history of it. I just believe men, I feel like men created that system to try to hold on to something that can't be held, which is feminine energy. It got to just go free. It just got to go with the, however it feel, it got to be able to move. And if it don't, it's going to feel caged in. It's going to feel stagnated, right? And there's so much love in it that even in the midst of that control, it's like, I appreciate the fact that you appreciate what I am so much that you want to hold me. So I'm going to try to see if I could fit in here. You know what I mean? And initially it was more so forced, but now we've been under this program of monogamy so long, it's like, all right, this is the thing to do. And part of me feel like I don't want to just be with one dude or just do one thing, but this is what society tells me I need to do. I'm not a good woman if I don't. I'm a whore if I don't, right? So they just do their best to squeeze, y'all, a lot of times do y'all best to squeeze into this box, knowing you want to go over it. And not even necessarily physically, sexually. You just want to be able to do different things. Even if you're not interested in no other brothers, you want to maybe just not be a wife for a week. I don't want to be a wife right now. You know what I mean? I want to just be an individual. I don't want to be in the box of the masculine control. This is my husband. This is my king. I don't want to have to do that. And there may be moments that I do, but I need the freedom to be able to go whatever way the whim of divine feminine energy sends me. Talking as a woman, you know what I'm saying? So based on that, I feel like, I'm at the point where I'm starting to really understand feminine energy a lot more and appreciate that what looks crazy to our structured systems as men is actually the impetus for any of this to exist, right? And of course, our order coupled with that is divine balance. But this is where I see a lot of my men, and men, please listen to this next part, because this is a program I literally just broke last week. Thank you to my goddess for helping me to break this program, for breaking me open in certain ways that I, was not comfortable, was very painful. But that's why I don't complain when I'm in those spaces. I know it's leading me to a higher level of understanding. Men, there is no amount of energy, money, dick, compassion, attention. There is no amount of energy you can give to this woman to satiate, to satisfy her. For it will never be enough, because it's not supposed to. So it's a lot of broken men, and I was one of them. It was still some of that program that just got snatched out of me in this past week. You know what I mean? It's a lot of us that think, based on this structure, based on this box, if I put enough coins into this arcade game, eventually it's going to say high score and I will have beat the game. You will never beat the game. It's a game that cannot be beaten, bro. You know what I mean? So a lot of us is walking around here feeling underappreciated because we pouring all this energy in, expecting that at a certain point to come home and she says, it's enough. I finally get how wonderful and I don't need nothing. That's never going to happen, bro. It's not supposed to. She is supposed to consistently, constantly receive new energy, new downloads, new experiences, and be free and have the range to do that in any way she feels. It is what it is. I know it may not seem fair, but when you are balancing your masculine energy, you don't want to rein anything in anyway. So go ahead, boo. Do what you do. Feel free. You know what I'm saying? I'll make my adjustments. But a large part of my suffering with women was like, bro, I'm giving the best of myself and it feel like it's not enough. You're damn right. It's never going to be enough. It's not supposed to be enough. You know what I mean? And when we release, the women are able to go here, go there, and that eventually leads them to the fact that all of these whims that's taking me left and right, all these experiences not going to be enough either. It's not just you, boo. It's not just you, my brother. It's not just you, my king, my husband, my God. Once you let go and they just start to really experience at the speed of whim and desire, they realize none of this stuff is going to be enough until I connect back to my true husband, which is the wisdom of the I am everything, the feminine energy, going back home and embracing I am nothing. None of this stuff in the world is ever going to be enough for any of us. But we take a different path to that as men and women. And our women's path has been obstructed. It's been thwarted, you know what I'm saying, by this system, by our demand of their energy and low-key, like, coercive control. Even if it's not, you got to do this in the third or I'm going to smack you in the face. It's that idea of, well, I can't really do what I want because it's going to affect my man negatively, right? If it's real, true love is acceptance. It's not control. If you feel like you don't want to be in this type, do what you do. Can you do that for your woman? If she was to come to you and say, I want to explore other things, even if it's not sexually, even if it is, could you really afford her that opportunity, that space? Are you strong enough within yourself and energetically independent enough yourself as a man to be able to extend that space to her, because at the end of the day, I may not be able to cuddle with you right now. We may not be in the same term or label of a relationship, but I'm good over here because I got God flowing through me everywhere, and I'm energetically independent, taking care of myself, and anything you give me is just icing on the cake. So if you feel like you need to go do you, explore your creation. I'm gonna be over here exploring mine. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna love you anyway, and pray for you anyway, and see you through it from my current capability anyway. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much my download. And again, this is not about your ability to be monogamous. And think about how close monogamy is to the word monotony. I'm going to read some of y'all comments in a second. Right? How close. I'm big into etymology and the energy of words. Monogamy, monotony. Right? The repetition. Men are and the thing is, some of the people on my Facebook post was like, well, that's not the case. That's why these men are running around here slinging it left and right. I'm going to tell you why. We created this system to try to box y'all in. And relationship after relationship, even if y'all stayed the whole time, we could sense y'all lack of happiness, y'all lack of fulfillment, right? So whether y'all left the house or y'all stayed the whole time, and we felt that energy, we felt that disconnect, and it caused us to try to go to another woman to see if we could hold that down. And then, damn, that don't work. And something goes out of whack. All right, well, I'm still dealing with y'all too. Let me go. And we just keep attempting to try to hold on to what cannot be held. And that's when we develop these programs of just slinging that thing. And after a while, that program in and of itself kicked up. And now we just out of control with our sexual energy. So it doesn't negate the fact, from my perspective, that we are more prone to being able to do something day in and day out. Repetition, structure, order. Right? That's our innate essence as men, as masculine beings. Right? But we've just, and that's the thing. We created this system. And this system not only imprisoned y'all, it imprisoned us. You know what I'm saying? And it put a false expectation of what we should be able to provide for y'all, which we never will be able to, no matter how good a man we ever are. So I put on my post yesterday on Facebook, it's probably women that's going to see this, that's in a relationship right now, and he's doing everything he should be doing according to a boyfriend or a husband or whatever he is. And it's not enough, and you don't feel fulfilled, and you feel bad as a woman for not feeling fulfilled. That program has to stop. That program is more oppressive than racism. That program has existed longer than the program of racism, right? So we really gonna go to these marches and hold up these picket signs and talk about what Donald Trump and all. This is a level we got to start to go to. And it's an uncomfortable conversation. I don't expect everybody to agree with me. I know it's probably gonna piss some people off, but this is just the light I've downloaded. I'm shining on you, and whoever it illuminates something for, so be it. You know what I mean? And it doesn't mean that I'm out here trying to bag. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just not a husband right now. Loren is not a wife right now. And we existed as friends, almost like as angels for each other before any of that ever existed. That's going to maintain. You know what I mean? And it may get to the point where we want to go back into that frequency, a husband. You know what I mean? It may do it. But it doesn't matter how it flows, right? We trust the flow of life. And this is why this is my highest frequency of love ever. To have the freedom offered to me to do what I need to do, what makes me feel fulfilled, right? And for me to extend that space and that freedom back to her, that's true love, no matter where that takes us. That's true love. How many of us is really doing that? You know what I mean? So if she hits me next week, like, y'all, I'm about to go on a date, it's probably going to be uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to stop her progress. I'm not going to stop her process. And vice versa. I mean, I'm not saying that's what's about to happen. I'm just saying, like, these are the things that we don't even think about. We just squeeze ourselves into this box. My girlfriend, my boyfriend, my husband, my wife, my family. And then I just got to exist in this thing for the rest of this life cycle. When we are here to explore, to experiment, and use the freedom and acceptance of each other's difference in energy to create balance individually, within our friendships, within our families, within our communities, within our world. Yeah. I think that's it. All right, so I'll be in the car. I need a light on me for that part. I'm going to read some of y'all comments. Peace to everybody watching, man. I appreciate y'all. Share this. I'm going to post this to my IGTV series. Please share this, bruh. Please share this. I'm gonna read some of y'all comments. Let's see. Hot. Bless rising. Bless rising. Anybody that need a doula, holla at me. I'll direct you to who our doula was. Peace. Peace. Everybody right now. I get with y'all. I have to hear this. Peace and blessings. Women are hypergamous. I don't think women are any one thing. And that's what somebody on Facebook was saying. Some people are mono, some people are poly, some people are nobody is any one thing, but men, masculine energy stays in a certain cycle and develops it and gets comfortable with it, I think, for longer periods of time, which again allows us to be able to do one thing over and over for an extended period of time. Right? So I'm not going to say, even as I'm saying women aren't built for monogamy, again, it's not saying it's not saying that you can do any level of poly. It's not saying that. It's just saying the essence of your energy and how it functions and needs to be allowed to function. So I can't even say women are hypergamous. You know what I'm saying? Women are whatever women need to be in that moment. That's my basic spiel. And they need to be allowed that. If you're going to be attached to or connected to or loving a woman in any way, shape, or form, you need to allow her to have the space to experiment with what she creates. Again, just this is my point of view. Preach. And ladies, if y'all relate to what I'm saying, put some type of, you know what I mean, a fist, hands together. Let me know how y'all feel, man. I feel the same. What are we? I don't know what you mean by that. See, facts. Like, why can't we flow all the time? Right? We simply are. Divine connections, facts. Real life. Not gonna lie. Peace, bro. Success, Jay. What's good, my brother? That's why it don't matter. Fickle. And I mean, you could call it fickle. That kind of has a negative connotation. But if you have the responsibility to, and think about it, even if you're not into the yogic science and all of that, just on a basic level of women having babies, having children, creating life on this planet, right? That keeps everything else going. Is it really fickle? Right? If us as men had access to this much information and energy and emotion to be able to absorb that, to spew out another edge of the universe, another corner of creation, another bit, whatever it may be, is it really fickle or is it just experimentation? The natural childlike inner child compulsion to, I want to see that what's down this hallway. You know what I mean? It's something down this dark hallway that's just calling me. Is it really fickle when you got 100 interesting dark hallways around you every moment? You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't even say it's fickle. It's frustrating too. Like, you know what I mean? Being that we've been in these boxes and we want to, it's definitely frustrating, but I'm not going to say it's necessarily fickle. You know what I mean? But again, my perspective. Feminine energy can't be controlled or suppressed. And even when you try to control it, it's just not going to work. It may seem like it's working for a period of time, and that resentment is just building up. That lack of fulfillment is just building up. And all of a sudden, it's 10 years down the line, and you can't understand why she's so mad about you not putting the toilet seat down. It ain't the toilet seat, bro. It ain't that you ate all the Apple Jacks. You know what I mean? It's this bomb of captivity that's been growing in her, that she did her best to try to squeeze herself into, but it just doesn't work on no level. We're just fooling ourselves. Damn, you keep skipping. I am missing it. My bad if I'm skipping, y'all. Bro, okay. The Goddess and the Explorer. It really just comes to experiences, which equates to information. You want to read one book or several books. Understanding on YouTube has a video on this. I love Understanding channel. Shout out to Seven Bomar. Definitely one of the gurus, one of the big homies out here. Check out Understanding channel when y'all can. Seven Bomar. Very enlightened brother. Wow, so true though. I have been observing women in their femininity and falling deeper in love with how they move. Facts. Yes. Like high key, they just want to move, bro. She just wants to move. What was that joint for real? You know what I mean? She came in the club with you, but you know what I mean? She sees an interesting dark hallway right now. And me. And she want to move right now, bro. Like, the examples been all, especially in our music, man. Girls just want to have fun. I know what girls like, all these different things, man. They just want to move around, bro. Let them move. Let them move, man. You got to be a strong man to be able to do that. So that's going to take some work on your part. I mean, Atlantis, monogamy is unnatural. I mean, yeah, but look into Lemurian, Lemurin, Lemurian consciousness. It's been documented by all different ethnicities from around the world that match up with the same story of how humanity came into existence. You know what I'm saying? Again, spirit science, the history of humanity. On Spirit Science, we'll dig into it for you. It's like in a cartoon form, so even your kids may be able to appreciate it. Yeah, Moon said, I love Spirit Science. Yeah, Spirit Science on YouTube. Love that channel. I am that. Facts. I got things to do. I just wanted to get this transmission out. Consciousness, exploring itself. That's it. We stay on the same lives. Let's see the God to. Yup, see you. Reflections, peace reflections. You speaking to my spirit. And like, if this resonated with you and you're afraid to have this conversation with your significant other, y'all not really with the real each other until this type of stuff is talked about. You know what I mean? You are with a representative and you are presenting a representative that he is with. It's not even real, y'all. So until we have these types of difficult conversations that a lot of time we've been scared to think about in our own brain, who we really with, what we really doing. I challenge y'all, dare y'all to have these conversations. Even if you don't want to move necessarily all of a sudden, you just want to explore this type of, like, I heard Doc say something, I want to talk about it. You know what I mean? See what happens. For real, I don't want to belong to anybody. Facts. I feel that in my heart, goddess. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what my goddess, my queen, my reflection, whatever you want to call it, was communicating to me. And it wasn't like I'm tired of you and no shit like that. It was, and she a lot younger than me. She needs to be able to explore and experiment and create. I mean, I got to offer her that space. It don't mean I love her no less. It don't mean I disconnect. It just means I love you enough to allow you to be how you need to be whenever you need to be there. You know what I mean? That's real man shit. That's real king shit. That's real God shit. Seriously, though. Absolutely. So if men say that same thing, we're dogs. Again, that's based on the program. That's based on the program. If you're at the point where you feel like you need to move or you need to explore, communicate that to your lady or whoever you're with. And let society handle what that looks like. That don't matter. That don't matter. Be honest to yourself and true to yourself and communicate that to whoever you love. And let source handle the rest. Fuck the whole dogs, whores, none of that matters, bro. Let's live our life for real, like. Thank you, King. No problem. Please make sure y'all share this, man. I do these lives. A lot of y'all be on here in the live, and I post it. When you see it go up on my page in my IGTV series, send this to as many people as you can. Please, not for me, for us to be able to have these conversations and break these chains, bro. It's like we don't win. I always win, bro. Always win because I'm honest with myself. I mean, that first week of her, and it was a struggle for her even to realize what was going on within herself. So it was hard for her to communicate it. You know what I mean? All these different things. So I was frustrated. I was upset, bro. Still accepting where we were, but you know what I mean, like, but in that moment, I knew I was still winning because we was just being honest, even when we didn't understand what we was really trying to relate to each other. And then when we got to that level of clarity, even more victory. So watch your spelling, bro. I always win. Even in that whole week that I communicated to y'all, I was messed up. Still victorious. Even in those moments. So watch your spelling, God. But we was taught all this from the other. Freedom and open communication. Freedom and open communication. We will, though. We will win. I'm a winner right now, bro. A discussion we had. We are winning. Yeah, shout out Queen. Winning. A lot of couples are going through this right now. And this is why we end up cheating. Big ups to you for doing the work to integrate this. I appreciate you. This is why we end up cheating. Because we're not connected enough to our own truth and defined enough in our own truth to communicate that to the person we love for fear that we're going to lose the box. We're going to lose what it looks like, our family. I mean, there is no loss. There's just redirection. None of this is ours anyway. Your own body, at a certain point, you got to give it back. All these experiences and these triumphs and the greatest moments of your life, when it's time to check out, you're going to give all of this back. All of it. None of it's yours. You know what I mean? So that fear of loss was really keeping us from being able to be transparent. That's why I love Goddess so much. To just be honest. And it may not always come out in the most effective way, but she's always been willing to say, all right, I feel this. Even if it take a month, she finally gets to, all right, I feel this. Let's figure this out. You know what I mean? But that's why we end up cheating, because we can't be honest. But none of that has to exist. Oh, for sure. I believe that, God. Kama Sutra says the woman is insatiable. Desire is insatiable. Insatiable. Right? There's nothing you could do, God. And you got to be able to find solace and appreciation in just your ability to project. Even if she never says thank you or appreciates it, or you hold the door open for 100 women and none of them even look your way. So what? This is your essence, to project, hold doors open, open jars, fix flat tires, help old ladies across the street, pick up things when you see ladies struggling. This is what we do. We project energy. That's your solace. That's your love and appreciation for yourself. And when you redirect that stream from, I need you to appreciate it, Miss Lady, to, I'm going to appreciate it for myself, then everything else is what's the word? Expendable. I mean, you feeding your own self-love. That you was looking for another woman to be able to say, okay, that's enough love. I appreciate it. I see what you are. I don't need that no more. I don't need that no more. I do it because I do it. Because that's how I'm built. That's how I'm structured. That's the life cycle and the energy I chose for this life. You know what I mean? And I'm very in touch with my feminine energy as well, which exploded me into all this abundance that I have now. You know what I mean? Love is not a competition. And it's a beautiful thing, honestly. How do we get more men to understand this? By sharing this, by having this conversation, by not being scared to be honest with not just your significant others, but with your friends, your cousins, your fathers. We don't get to this point without just talking first. You got to talk. Man, that's why I did this. Flames, right? Goddess in here laughing at me with the whelp with the whelp face. I love you, Goddess. Thank you. Bro, what's crazy is that I resonate with this as a Gemini man. I literally just want to flow, and I have labels on me. I am a free, natural person, and it always seems like that's a bad thing. So other people's perception of you is not your problem. It's not even your business. So whoever don't resonate with that frequency, they're not be in your world. Simple as that. It becomes your GPS. Your truth becomes your GPS. If I tell you my truth and you don't rock with it, that means we both need to go different directions. So it's healing both ways. It's space for me. It's understanding for you that you may need to go another way, even though you may like me a lot, or I ain't for you right now, Big Daddy. Like, you know what I mean? So whoever don't resonate with that, be thankful that they don't. Be thankful for that directional pad of go this way. You know what I mean? You don't got to stress none of that. And flow, bro. Any label you put yourself on is condensing. Even that's why in meditation, let go of your name, let go of your self-image and all that.